Hello everyone, and welcome back to another Dark Souls 3 challenge run. Today we'll be trying to beat Dark Souls 3 with only a whip. Now let's get straight into the rules. I've set a few rules for the run. Rule number 1, I will only use the whip and will always be two-handing the whip. Rule number 2, I'll be wearing only the loincloth. I will use rings and some consumables, but not often. Now let me introduce you to our protagonist, Gimpert. Yeah, he's pretty gross, but he knows how to have a good time, if you know what I mean. So I modded the whip in to start, but the class doesn't have the right stats to wield the whip, so we're doing no damage. I tried to fight Gunder, but we're doing 7 damage per hit, so I cheated a little and gave myself enough dex to use the whip. Now don't think that I didn't try to beat him before cheating, because I tried for a few hours, but I'm just not cut out for that. He killed me multiple times before I finally just gave up. But I'm actually glad that I cheated, because if I didn't, this run would have never gone past the first area. Anyway, we beat Gunder and make our way to Firelink Shrine. We use our ill-gotten souls to bump up our dex even more and make our way to the high wall of Lothric. We make our whip +1, and now it's time to take on the second boss. He only kills me one time. Our attacks are slow with long windups, and the damage really isn't that great. He gives us plenty of time to get attacks in. However, we don't have that much stamina, so I'm only getting off about 3 attacks. We take down Vort, and we make our way to the undead settlement. Hey bro, you want to stop shooting giant arrows at me? Thanks. We're gonna grab Flynn's ring and the Chloranthy ring. We'll upgrade our health a little bit. Then we make our whip +2. Now onto honestly one of the hardest bosses of the run, the Cursed Rod of Greatwood. Trying to hit his weak points with the whip was agonizing. If I didn't hit at the perfect angle, it would miss like 90% of the time. More health and dex, +3 whip. Next boss is the Crystal Sage. I'm embarrassed to admit it, but I got stuck here for a while. With how long the windup for attacks are, combined with the minimal stamina bar, I wasn't able to get many attacks in before he would just teleport away. Not wearing any armor wasn't helping either with his magic attacks. So I went to the swamp to get some large Titanite shards to hopefully get enough of a damage boost to push through and take him out. We turn our whip into a sharp whip, level up a little bit, and head over to the cathedral.
Treat me like white tees, don't get me dirty. Love.
And of course you know we gotta kill the giant for the large Titanite shards. We purchase Sigurd's armor, because we'll be needing his help later. Now it's time to take on the deacons. This boss was easy as ever. The whip can hit multiple deacons at once, so he's defeated pretty easily. We level up a little bit more, and we get right into the next boss, the Abyss Watchers. I did this one first try, which was pretty satisfying. With the crazy range on this thing, we just bait out attacks, step back, then charge up a heavy and punish him. Once his second phase starts, he gets way more aggressive, so charging up attacks isn't possible. We just have to dodge when we can and get in some light hits. After enough consecutive whips, we take him down and we're ready to move on. Couple more levels, we head into the catacombs. Time for Wolnir. The whip actually made this fight so much easier than it already is. I just sniped his bracelets with this thing. Numbers go up. Head on down to Smoldering Lake. Kill the worm. Make the whip +6. Now it's time to take on the old Demon King. This dude killed me 5 times. With no armor, some of his attacks would just one-shot me. I kept getting pretty close, but his damage was crazy. I just had to keep throwing myself at him until I could beat him. The strategy was basically to just try to get behind his right leg and attack until I was out of stamina. Most of his attacks are pretty slow and easy to avoid, but the one time they do hit you, they hurt. As long as I avoid his high damage attacks, I can whittle him down enough to beat him. By the end of the fight, he just gives up, and we take him down. We take a little trip back to Firelink Shrine to get the Estus Ring. Forgot about this guy. Take him out real quick. We get a free Titanite chunk from the bird. Level up the whip. Moving on to Irithyll. We take the dog on the bridge out. Now it's time for Pontiff, and this guy kicked my ass. Just watch. Now, we could sit here all day and watch me die over and over again. I have hours of footage of me just dying to this guy over and over again. But you know what we're gonna do? Pull ourselves up and to go at him one more time. Going straight into the next boss, we have Aldrich. I did this boss first try. The fight was not difficult at all. The attacks are pretty easy to see coming and avoid. There was also plenty of time for me to get in lots of attacks. I have plenty of health and Estus flasks, so taking damage isn't a problem at all. I was always close up, so I didn't have to deal with the magic attacks all that much. Just try to stay near the end of the tail and get in as much damage as possible. I was able to hit the tip of the tail just before teleporting to end the fight. Moving on to the Profane Capital. Here we get to free our bro. He's going to help us take on Yorm the Giant. Moving on to the Dancer. This boss wasn't too bad this time around. She only killed me about 4 times. I never really get hit by the grab attack, but somehow they managed to land it on me, and the animation's actually pretty cool. So basically my strategy for the fight was to just try to get behind them and charge up the whip to get as much damage in as possible before they attack again. She has a lot of range, but the attacks usually have a pretty long windup, so they're not that hard to dodge. After enough charged up whip attacks, and pretty close call here at the end, they go down. Moving on to the next boss, Osiris the Consumed King. This boss only killed me 1 time and did not give me any trouble at all. Before he starts raging, we just get right up between his legs and just start wailing heavies on him. We're able to get in a lot of free damage this way. Once he starts switching to his angry phase, we're able to get in some free hits, and then after that, the name of the game is patience. Just gotta try to take it slow, avoid his attacks, and get in what damage we can. With the range of the whip, we're able to hit him while he's running away, and then we take him down. We make our whip +8. We head into the Untended Graves to take on the next boss, Champion Gunder. Now, surprisingly, I was able to beat him first try, but this boss has always given me trouble. He's a real test of skill and patience. When you think you have an opening for an attack, think again and get ready to dodge, because he always has a follow-up attack. If you read him wrong, he will punish you for it. He gives you little to no space to heal. If you try to back up and heal, he will jump on top of you. With enough well-timed dodges and well-placed attacks, we take him down. We go ahead and level up just a little bit more, and then we make our way to the Archdragon Peak. Alright guys, I gotta come clean here. This is where the run failed. I know, I'm sorry, I tried. But unfortunately, you cannot backstab, riposte, or drop attack with the whip. I tried to kill the Ancient Wyvern by slapping his toes, but I felt like I was just wasting my time. We're doing like 15 damage a hit. So I just drop attacked him with my fist. We now have 40 vigor and dex, and a plus 10 whip. Going straight into the next boss, the Nameless King. This boss was brutal. This boss was pain. I was suffering at this point. I'm just gonna start scribbling nonsense on the wall. I'm gonna put my head through the wall. Should I sell all my belongings and become a monk? Should I really be getting this mad at a video game? I died too many times to count here. Just pure frustration. I felt like nothing I was doing was working. This whip will be the end of me. I kept dying because I kept getting greedy, going for an extra hit, when I knew damn well that I should not go for an extra hit. Impatience was my downfall. Now it's time to focus up. Okay, now this right here is a perfect display of the whip's number one attribute. It's range. This thing can't hit me, and I just take it out. Easy peasy.
Oh my god, stop, bro, I'm stuck. Can you help me?
Moving on to the next boss, Dragon Slayer Armor. He only killed me twice. I feel like this boss has gotten easier and easier every time I fight him. I used to struggle with him when I first played the game, but now I know him pretty well and can avoid his attacks fairly easily. The whip does have this cool move where you can attack around an enemy's shield if they're blocking, but I wasn't able to make any use of it here. I also feel like the butterfly enemies that spawn in the second phase don't really do all that much. They maybe do like 2 or 3 attacks and they miss most of the time. But towards the end of the fight, I know I've got this in the bag. I charge up one last attack and I finish him off. Next up is the Twin Princes. Now, I died about 5 times here, but that's nothing compared to what I've been through already with this run. The boss isn't anything too difficult, but their attacks still hurt if you slip up and get hit. The first phase is easy, just dodge and hit. But the second phase, the whip is actually really good at hitting Lothric. I can get plenty of damage in without even knocking Lorien down. But once he does go down, it's basically game over. We pop all the boss souls we've collected thus far, and this is what we're working with. And now it's time for the DLC. First boss on the list, Champion's Gravetender. I only died twice here. I just wail on the Gravetender to try to break his guard and get in damage. I forgot about the special attack that goes around the shield here, so I don't know if it would have been effective. Once you get him low enough, he spawns in the wolf, so I just try to take him out as quick as possible so I can go one-on-one with the wolf. Once it's a one-on-one, it's pretty easy. His attacks are very easy to avoid, and I can get in a lot of damage. Moving right on to the next boss, Sister Freed. I think I died about 7 times here. Her attacks are pretty brutal, but once I figured out how to fight her in the first phase, getting to the second phase was easy, and it was just the third phase that was giving me trouble. In phase 1, the strategy is basically just snipe her with the whip and try to keep her stun locked, hitting her over and over again. She can't really do anything about it. Once phase 2 starts, the strategy switches up, and we focus on the father. Sister Freed becomes much less aggressive in this phase, so we don't really have to worry about her, and we can just get behind the father and charge up heavies and just keep swinging at him. Once phase 3 starts, this is where it gets a little more difficult. Time to jump in this hole and then die a bunch of times. The demon princes gave me a little bit of trouble, but nothing too much. They kept poisoning me, so I actually went and got some purple moss clumps, which didn't really help all that much because them hitting me does way more damage than the poison, so I don't know why I was so worried about it. Anyway, we stick to the usual strategy. We go for the one that isn't charged up first, using the demon in pain as a sort of barrier between me and the other demon. We're doing some pretty decent damage here. We stun the demon in pain and take our opportunity to wail on him. The first one goes down, and then we shift our attention to the other. We stagger them, get in a few more hits, and then take them down as well. Now it's time to take on the Demon Prince. The laser beam attack is our biggest window of opportunity. Just like the twin demons, he is very easy to stagger, giving us lots of free damage. He does his laser beam attack again, combined with another stun. We're taking huge chunks off his health. Just a few more hits, we take the Demon Prince down. Moving on to the next boss is Slave Knight Gale. This boss didn't give me too much trouble, but it sure was a lot of fun to fight him with the whip. He killed me a few times, but I know this boss pretty well by now, so I was able to take him down. And with the final boss down, we've made it to the end of the video. I just want to say thanks for watching through the whole video. And if you like my videos, subscribe for more Dark Souls challenge content. I hope you enjoyed. Once again, thank you, and see you in the next video.